Ow. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tuck Rule Takes, episode 125, 125. A nice round, good number. I feel good. Are you guys like that? You guys feel good about numbers that end in like fives or zeros or things like that?
No. Yeah, because they're easy. It's
the
easiest
to
work
with.
with.
Yeah,
I feel good about certain numbers, but there's no pattern whether they're even or odd.
See,
I'm a big fan of 5, 8, 11, 13, 20, 26,
okay.
40, 44, 47, 49.
Ooh, no. Get 47 out of here.
54, 56, and 59.
Oh, God. The 47 and 59 make me feel icky. I don't know why.
The look on Al's face, like I just insulted the entire mathematic.
Yeah, that was weird.
You pretty much did. I mean, I'm like insulted to even look at you right now.
I was like hearing these numbers.
So like, what a riveting start to episode 125. Like, bro,
numbers.
Check
baby.
out these numbers, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, episode 125 Tuck Rule Takes. I'm Mike. Big Al is here. Liam's here. Boys, free agency is open. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Patriots have been relatively quiet. There's been some things they've done. Definitely some
One
notable
big splash move, though. The lead you on notice.
Yeah.
Everyone's paying attention.
Yeah, they kept Bailey Zappi. There's that. But before we get into that, I figured we'd start how we've been starting with this Patriots Dynasty doc. Episodes 7 and 8 have aired. Liam has yet to watch it. Next week we'll have the whole doc to kind of recap the final 2 episodes, and Liam will be caught up then, so we'll be good. But so the first episode, that was the Deflategate one, basically. We'll start with that. And then obviously we'll get to episode 8, and then we'll go to the free agency stuff, because like I said, there's some big free agency news. But Al, for episode 7, do you want to kind of start with your notes or kind of however we've been doing this before, we just start talking about it and kind of go from there?
Yeah, I mean, episode 7, basically, for anybody that hasn't watched it yet, spoiler alert. So if you don't want any spoilers, skip ahead in the episode.
May I just preface with a quick question? How mad is the Deflategate episode going to make me? Before we even jump into the details here, scale of 1 to 10, telling me.
I would go ahead, Mike.
No, I think so. So the start of the episode is just doesn't even make any sense because it has nothing to do with anything to me.
Yeah.
But like the actual episode, I feel like for Patriots fans, the only reason why I told Al before we recorded that I wanted to almost fast forward through it, we know it all. We've seen, we've heard every single thing about.
That's why I asked. Like, I've been around this roller coaster. Do I want to relive this 10 years later?
It's just not boring, but it's just like a retread of everything. Like, yeah, the ball boy went in, like Tommy Curran's on there for a second. He's like, the ball boy went in the bathroom for 90 seconds. Was he emptying his bladder? Or was he emptying the football's bladder? And it's like, when you think about it like that, it's such a stupid thing. Like I think one of the things this episode did well, and I guess we're just jumping right into it. One of the things that the episode did well, it did encapsulate how absurd this whole thing got. Like how big and like how it started as something where like people were like, oh, Patriots cheating again, whatever. But then it got to the point where it turned into just a huge thing where like you got people on the Tonight Show, the talk shows, everybody talking about it. And it was just
Spygate wasn't this big of news, but Deflategate was the whole world because it was centered around Tom Brady.
Yeah, exactly. Spygate to me has always been the bigger controversy. Yeah, because this
that actually gives you a tactical advantage.
Yeah, and like again, they did they pulled the clip where Belichick was like, asked Tom about it, whatever. I think again that was overblown. I don't think that he was necessarily trying to throw him under the bus or whatever. But what I do actually want to start with, because before I let it go, Liam, how do you think this episode would start? A Deflategate episode?
How do I think it would start? I would assume it would start with the game the infamous interception to DeQuell Jackson over the middle,
let me
where
stop you
DeQuell
there.
said he grabbed the ball and
and
squeezed
he
it.
felt it. You would think, right? So how this started was Rupert Murdoch sitting down and waxing poetically about how great Robert Kraft is and all this stuff, talking about how they went to Russia to meet with Vladimir Putin, and how Putin put the ring on and said, "Oh, I could kill somebody with this," and how it made people feel weird, and then how the ring got
steals
stolen.
the ring, and then steals the ring from Robert Kraft,
and then Robert
kind of a
Kraft
big
acting
baller,
like this was. They had a clip where he was like, "Yeah, and this was huge news. Everybody cared." I completely forgot this happened. I don't think. Why the fuck is this in the documentary? This is my thing. This has nothing to do with the Patriots dynasty. It's not big enough to talk about. Like, why do it, and then like from there, it was just a hard transition to talking about Deflategate. Like that, I knew right when we hit there. And Al, this is where I told you before, where like it's different. This has now turned into a Kraft and Brady history documentary with like a few sprinkled in Patriot stuff. Because we'll get to it in the next episode too. But if you're coming into this blind, you wouldn't even know that Belichick was a big part of anything. He has a total of probably like 4.5, 5 minutes of commentary. But the people who get more than him are crazy, which I'll talk about. But like it was just a weird start. Al, how did you feel about the start? Because immediate sour taste in my mouth.
No, it's okay. No, it's all right. To be honest with you, the part that I liked about it was I hadn't heard that story before. So I always like learning new things about it. Yes, Liam.
I really hate to cut you off here. You know, it doesn't really aside to the Patriots, but Austin Eckler to the Commanders.
I saw that 2-year deal.
I just saw it pop up. All right.
Yeah.
No, that's a good move.
We will probably be dumping in random free agent news as we start talking. So
we have to. We absolutely have to.
Yeah.
With that being said, I mean, again, I liked learning about the actual story of it. So like that's what the documentary serves as a purpose for me, is I like to learn new tidbits that I hadn't learned before about the Patriots dynasty. Because let's look at it this way. The first 3 episodes, Mike, I mean, you've watched the whole thing with me so far. The first 3 episodes of the 01 season, we pretty much knew just about everything, right? Much, like we knew, there was like little things, but we pretty much knew all that. I had no idea. It was cool
seeing highlights and stuff, but like other than that, like we knew everything.
It was the nostalgia factor, exactly. But then, you know, to hear about that story with Vladimir Putin, it's like I never would have known that, never would have guessed that. So that part, like,
I didn't hear that when it came out at the time.
What part did you hear? That it was stolen, or that he said like you could kill someone with this ring?
I heard the stolen thing.
You really never heard that his ring was stolen?
I swear.
Oh, okay. Then for people who didn't see, and then this just contradicts what Kraft said when he's like, it was the biggest fucking story in the world. I'm sorry. In case you people, you two, or anybody listening, I am out on Robert Kraft. So, and you'll get it at the end of when we're done talking about this. But yeah, so I didn't know that you didn't know that. So, okay, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, I had no idea about that. So that's why I was like, oh, okay, that's a cool tidbit for me. But as far as the rest of the episode goes, I mean, it's just a lot of the same stuff that we already knew. It was the interception, which I forgot who it was that intercepted the ball and then squeezed the ball. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But it's also just bringing back old memories and everything. Like that's what this documentary is. And it doesn't feel like it's really bringing new tidbits into the fold as much. Nothing. It's just more about, and what I would have liked to hear. Now I understand that this was shot before he was let go, but I would have liked to hear Belichick talk a little bit more about it, just because I think this documentary has been a great opportunity for him to quote unquote clear his name if he's needed to clear his name on anything, or just to hear his side. But then you know how he is.
I have a thought on that too. So at the end, we'll get to it.
That's fine. Yep. And it's just like, I wish I heard more from him, because I'm sure there's a lot he wants to say. And this was the perfect opportunity to do it and just get it all out in the open. But
there might be a lot that he did say, and we just don't know. Like that's where, when you were just talking, you could have ended your sentence by saying, I wish we heard more from Belichick. Right, that's it. Because we've heard more from Tom Brady's sisters, from Tom Brady's stupid dad, almost more from his mom. We've heard more from Rupert Murdoch. We've heard more Dante fucking Stallworth, which
Roger Goodell.
Roger Goodell, we've heard at least equal to as Bill. Like Liam, you will be shocked when you watch this, Liam, and you with like the sheer amount of Robert Kraft that we see. Which that too is kind of weird. Why are we seeing so much craft? We're seeing more craft than anybody in this documentary. More craft than Brady, definitely more than Brady. Gronk, you maybe have seen him 3 times, not even. Edelman, you just saw him in the other one, so I don't know how long he's going to be in it, because these last 2 episodes don't look like they're going to have a lot of rosy things going on in them. Like it is crazy how little Belichick is in this thing. But yeah, so it does go into obviously the whole Deflategate thing. So they talk about how the Ravens let the Colts know about, that maybe they might be deflating some balls, whatever. The Colts then let the NFL know about it. And this is my first issue, kind of looking back, which I'm pretty sure I don't know if I even thought about this then, because like obviously we were all fucking die hard, fuck the league, fuck Goodell, screw everybody, blah, blah, blah. If the NFL knew that this was happening, right? Or that they knew or supposedly knew from teams that the Patriots were doing this, why did they let the game go on without checking it immediately? Because isn't Goodell's whole thing integrity of the game, integrity of the game? You're playing a game under protest, essentially, because you're letting and I say all this in air quotes because I don't think that this is even, I don't think this Deflategate is even what it is, which is what I feel like we all feel like it's blown out of proportion. But it's just another thing where the league just doesn't really care about the integrity of the game, because if they did, they would have checked the Patriots balls at the end of the first drive, or they would have had an NFL person over there to start the game. Like this is what gives me like a bad taste in my mouth. And Goodell's quotes too, where Goodell comes in and essentially says like, we're told about something and we are, I have to take my emotions out of it. And, I penalize the team for it, whatever. But like, this is like, Liam, I think that you're going to murder someone. I'm going to let you kill them and then get you for murder.
Yeah.
Like, I think that you're going to rob Al's house. So I'm going to stake out Al's house. I'm going to wait for you to do it, potentially hurt someone, do whatever, but I'm going to get you after instead of detaining you beforehand.
That'd be like me telling you, like, hey, like, I've been breaking into houses recently. I'm going to go get Al's. And you're like, all right, cool, dude. And then, like, you just bust me for it.
Yeah. And then just the next day being like, hey, Al, things were stolen from your house, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom.
By the
Let's
way,
get
Liam
guys.
stole
Let's get him. Like, what the fuck? I don't know.
It's just...
Yeah.
And by the time you get me,
how'd you guys feel
already
about
spent
that?
all of Al's teacher millions.
Yeah. You've already stolen the bidet. So
yeah. 100%, dude.
It's not. Yeah, it's
I've made off
found.
to Colombia with the bidet.
I was going to say it was gone for a week. I don't know what happened to it, but now I know what happened to it.
But I have a particularly clean asshole, I'll tell you that.
But yeah, so Al, as someone who watched it, kind of you take that, because I got a couple more bullet points for this one, but they'll be relatively quick. What else do you have on this episode?
The only other thing that I thought was kind of funny and cool at the same time is that Dave Portnoy made an appearance, which I was not expecting. And I was like, oh, I literally said out loud in my living room, I was like, holy shit, Portnoy's on this? So that part was kind of funny, and it just brought a little like needed humor into the documentary.
No, my wife came out of the room. She was kind of like doing stuff around the house, and she walked by and she was like, "Oh, this is the Deflategate one." I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "I wonder, you don't think Dave's going to be on this?" And I was like, I don't know. I think he should, because you can't, and like regardless of how you feel about Barstool, you cannot tell the story of Deflategate without mentioning Barstool and Dave Portnoy either, because they were such a they were everywhere. They got arrested crazy, and then just like that's really what set kind of Barstool to a whole nother level, is because now they became kind of intertwined with like the beats, the drama. They became kind of like the people on the ground for the Patriots organization. Like, listen, you guys don't want to print out, clown shirts with Goodell's face on it. We will. But you guys don't want to do this. They will. So that was cool, seeing them kind of actually seeing like Dave get interviewed, like the sit down for the show. And then all the clips, I'll never get over just seeing them sitting in the fucking lobby, handcuffed to each other.
I know.
Crazy to me. I thought that was awesome too.
That's all I got for episode 7. By the way.
I only got 2 other things. This is definitely where the Belichick hate started, I think, from the media and the fans, because everybody viewed it as him passing the buck to Tom Brady. And you can kind of see in the doc, there's also somewhat of a shift from here on out. You could kind of see it in the previous episodes, but You can really see it now. And this is also why, I don't know, Al, if you saw this, at the end of every episode, they credit the NFL films. NFL films have come out and said, we don't want to be associated with this because we don't like how you're portraying Bill Belichick. So if you have like the actual, like, and this isn't just like, you know, this isn't like a third party film thing that helped. This is NFL films who have put out very good things. And they came out and they said, we don't want to be associated with this. Like that just goes to show you. And like, God, the next 2 episodes are going to be fucking horrible. Like, because they're going to be talking about the Malcolm Butler benching and then the breakup, and it's going to be whatever. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. And then I was just kind of surprised that they didn't show Mark Brunell crying like a little bitch when he was like, Tom Brady said that he didn't deflate them. I don't believe him. I don't believe him. Do you guys remember that when Mark Brunell cried on national television?
The hefty lefty, like the old Jaguars.
He cried on that. They went, because I remember I was watching, which I'm sure everybody was at that point. They went to Tom Brady's like 30-minute press conference where like they paint Brady as like took all these questions. He was in the firing squad because Belichick threw him under the bus. And once they went back to ESPN or like whatever the show was at the time, they're like, wow, you know, what do you think about that? They went to Mark Brunell and he, with tears coming down his face, in his eyes, you know, I don't believe Tom Brady. I don't believe him. And it was one of those moments where you're like, dude, you are crying over this?
Weirdo.
I will never forget that, which I guess it makes sense that they didn't like show it, I guess, because it's such an embarrassing thing to be shown on there. Yeah, that was basically the Deflategate episode. Deflategate in itself is one of the craziest things, and they talk about it in the next the next episode, but they do end this episode with the fact that Tom Brady, you know, went on and he won the Super Bowl. Right? That's how they end this one, correct? Okay.
Yep.
Remember that because that was the Seahawks Super Bowl, correct? That he went and won, that they talk about. Awesome moment. Malcolm go, everybody, and we'll get to Malcolm Butler too. But we'll have a little, actually, no, we'll just talk about it now. Malcolm Butler retired, by the way, guys. So we'll just kind of get that out of the way if we want to bring it up afterwards.
Thanks, Malcolm.
Yeah, you know, he will always
Malcolm go, baby. Those words live.
Yeah, he'll always be you know, a cult hero in New England. So yeah, Malcolm go. And that, you know, he was talking about it, you know, go Malcolm, and Malcolm went, picked him off. They had this cool quote where Malcolm Butler's sitting there and he was like, Russ was looking over here a little bit too much. And he was like, you know, so I kind of thought something was up, and then he just, you know, they show the play. Awesome. Great. Everything about it was cool.
Because Russ is probably like, who the fuck is in here at defensive back right now? He's probably looking at the Patriots.
It makes sense.
I've never seen this.
Go after him. You go after the rookie corner. That's what you do all the time. And it just so happened, you know, especially because, and I feel like it's a small forgotten detail. He was the one who gave up the curse catch on the sideline, or like that bobble too, or like he was in coverage when it happened. So like, they showed him too. He was like, yeah, you know, I got in the Super Bowl, sat on the sideline. I was like, I'm probably not going to get in the game again, all that. And then that's when he says, you know, I heard Malcolm go. And then, you know, the rest was,
because that was an incredible play. Like, he played as good a defense as you can.
Dude, that Super Bowl was, and they were talking about too, the lead up, like I think they had a clip from Stephen A saying, you know, this is huge for the Patriots legacy, for Tom Brady's legacy. If you don't win, people are going to say that you only win because you cheat, you know, like I remember that was the talk going into it, because this was pre-suspension, pre-everything, because this was obviously the year of Deflategate. So like, it was incredible. I think that Super Bowl might be pound for pound the best Super Bowl that the Patriots played in. You know, there might be better moments, better final stretches of a game, perhaps. But that Super Bowl, pound for pound, 14-point deficit in the fourth, just in the second half, just great Super Bowl.
And everyone scored. Like, everyone had a great go of it. Brandon LaFell with the first touchdown.
Brandon
LaFell down the sideline over KJ Wright. Amendola was involved. Edelman was the star.
Edelman getting fucking the shit kicked out of him on that third down pass or whatever, I think, over the middle. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
You could see it on the field.
Oh,
you can see it.
100%.
But yeah, so that one ends. And like I said, remember that ends with the Seahawks Super Bowl, right? So if you aren't too in depth with everything with the Patriots, you think this is the timeline now. Tom Brady won. All right, Tom Brady Deflategate, blah, 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 won the Super Bowl. Let's go. So the next episode starts. This is where they draft Jimmy G. It pretty much starts with that, doesn't it? If I remember correctly,
yeah, it does.
Drafting him. So my issue with this, everybody talking about Belichick drafting Jimmy Garoppolo, they're leading you to believe that Jimmy G got drafted after the Seahawks Super Bowl. They make it seem like it's like, oh, and then Belichick drafted, another quarterback, and people were like, oh, eyebrows were raised. This is the time to move on. Kraft says that Belichick, I got a kick out of this one. Kraft, I'm paraphrasing, says that Belichick was showing stats that like Brady is declining, which if we remember that time from 2000, that 10-year span in the middle, people weren't like chanting, saying that people were kind of looking like, is it time to move and change things? Could you go 10 years without winning a Super Bowl and having 2 crushing defeats?
And also, no one had any idea
thing.
Tom Brady would play till he's like 45 years old.
No, of course not. But that's just another issue that I have with it. And I don't even know, Al, if you even caught that, but they made it seem like Brady won a Super Bowl and then Belichick had the balls to now draft a quarterback in the second round. So it was just like, I didn't like that. And that, I think, is like where they're starting to portray Belichick as this like monster or this guy. So I don't know. Did you see that at all? Or did it kind of, did you know the timeline? Did you just kind of
I remember the timeline. I remember that Jimmy was drafted the year they won the Seahawks Super Bowl. And I remember people made such a big deal out of it. And I'm not going to lie, even after, and I know this is going forward a little bit, but even after the 2018 season, I was a big proponent of, you know what, let Brady and Belichick both walk together, go out as winners and ride off into the sunset and start the rebuild. Like that's what
a lot of people were, especially with just Brady. It depended, but yeah.
Exactly. Like, why not? Because at that time, Brady was 40. He's still, he was still good, but it's like, why not just go out on top and end on a Super Bowl run? Like, he could have done the same thing with the Buccaneers after he won it the first year with them. But anyways, as far as the episode is concerned, 2016 will always be my favorite Super Bowl year because of, not just because of the 28-3 comeback, but think about the utter dominance that Tom Brady played with when he came back week 5. And I know you caught this, Mike, but when they started playing Taylor Swift's "Look What You Made Me Do."
Oh, buddy, I have a note. I have a note about that.
Fuck them all. Like, you can hate that all you want, but I love that. It's just like that pure competition, that pure drive.
FEA. Fuck them all.
FEA. Exactly. The FEA year. And it's like having Brady get those 4 games of rest. It was basically like an extended preseason for him. Yeah. So that part was cool. And then seeing, just for me, remembering that like Jimmy was great against the Cardinals. He was great in the first half against the Dolphins before he gets hurt. Jacoby Brissett was great on Monday Night Football.
Which they didn't show. They didn't even talk about Jacoby Brissett.
That long touchdown run, I'll never forget that.
Nope, you'll never know. You'll never know, Liam. If you watch this doc, you'll never know that happened. Because they don't talk about Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah. So
they don't. And that's where, like,
sorry, I'm just very bitter about this episode. You'll see.
No, it's fine. I like I said, I love that 2016 season for all the reasons I mentioned, plus the 4-game like suspension, obviously, and they're still playing well, and they just mow through the rest of the league. The only loss they had was that Seattle Sunday night game, which they shouldn't have even lost in the way they should have with that Gronk non-call in the end zone or in the red zone. But I digress from that. But what I would have liked to see in episode 8 is a couple things. I would have liked to see Jimmy talk, because I wanted to get his thoughts on coming in and being the starting quarterback and getting the opportunity to play. And, in his head at all, did he think maybe if I, blow him out of the water in these 4 games, I have a chance to do what Brady did to Bledsoe in 01? Like, just thinking along that, did he have those thoughts? Not that we think that, but did he
because
have
you
those
want to
thoughts?
know the player's thoughts. That's the whole point of fucking
Yes.
documentaries, is to hear players
Yes.
talk, not Tom Brady's dumb dad.
Right. I would have liked to hear Brady's thoughts too on what was it like to watch Jimmy? Like, did you, they showed the highlights from like training camp and stuff where Jimmy's like, yeah, we haven't really talked much. He hasn't really given me advice. Like, I'll get back to you on that.
Mhm.
And I would have liked to hear from Bill there too, to be like, what were your thoughts with Jimmy? Just
We
to
all
hear,
would've.
just to hear those. So I think it was good, but there was a lot to be desired. There was a lot of meat still on the bone that I think still need to be chewed off, so to speak.
They didn't even get to like the middle of the steak. They talked about like, and it's so just since you brought up the Taylor Swift thing, what pissed me off, do you know what led into that? It was Tom Brady's sister, which not sure why we got so much of Tom Brady's sister in these last couple episodes, but I'm sure we'll get a shit ton of them in the next couple episodes because they're a crucial part of the dynasty. I don't know if you guys knew that. Both the sisters, Tom Brady Sr. too, very, very critical parts of the fucking dynasty. But what happened? The sister comes on. She's like, it was like a song from Taylor Swift. Felt it was the most cringeworthy fucking thing ever, which like, this is coming from someone who my Apple Music Wrapped last year had Taylor Swift #1 on my thing. So like, I love Taylor Swift, but like this was one, like I could have done without her. And just cause like, again, my wife was watching at that point and she looked at me and went, oh, and that it would have been perfect if they just had the Tom Brady thing where he's going, it was an FEA year. And the producer going, FEA, yeah, fuck them all. And then go into the look what you made me do. Cause that was the song that happened, which by the way, this is a little tidbit. You guys know how Taylor Swift's re-recording all her albums and everything like that and whatever. Yep. She re-recorded this song specifically for the Patriots Dynasty documentary. So she hasn't even done this album. Yeah, which I thought cool. That, I mean, I'm sure like whatever, but it just, so that was fine. And I do like the song. So I thought the message of it was cool, in having it play and then just having all the highlights of them just kicking everybody's ass. But again, like why did we need his sister talking about that? Like, I would have much rather had like the players being like, yeah, we wanted basically fuck everybody. Like I didn't need his sister being like, it was like a Taylor Swift song. And then going into look what you made me do. I did not like that. This is just other things that I don't give a shit about with this documentary that pissed me off.
Who the fuck wants to hear from the family? No,
dude,
no one
that's just the only time I understand hearing from the family is like the first few episodes when Brady gets drafted. Because like if you want to kind of start it there. So let me actually tell you. So they do say that Brady got suspended for 4 games. So instead of really diving into how the team was, how the team felt there, how they performed the games, Jimmy G getting hurt, your backup quarterback getting hurt, your third string quarterback has to come in and he plays well. It's just crazy. No. You know what we get? So what did Tom Brady do during his 4-game suspension? Well, he went back to Michigan for a game there. And then you got a 10-minute thing of seeing Tom Brady's roommate in Michigan. Them talking about, this is where, and his roommate, by the way, is a fucking doof. Have you if you watch it, he looked like I don't need to see him. And they're talking.
He looked like he looked like the neighborhood salesman. Like he's an insurance salesman going around door to door.
Yeah, who everybody's like, oh shit, here comes Bob.
Anyone want to buy solar panels? You're like, get the fuck out.
That's how he sounds, Liam. And then he's talking. He's like, yeah, this is where the Tom Brady death stare started. And I cackled because they show Tom Brady and it kind of looks like a death stare, but it also looks like a very confused person on the sideline, which like Tom Brady has a death stare. That look they showed was not it. It was like a weird thing of him at Michigan. And like, I didn't need to know about that. He sat in the back. I don't care. This isn't a Tom Brady documentary. This is the Patriots Dynasty documentary. Like, I don't give a shit about that. That upset me because I was like, we could have used this time to actually hear from the players on the team, to hear from, I don't know, maybe Gronk, because we don't hear much from him at all. Like, we heard a little bit from him in the Hernandez thing, but barely anyways. Like, yeah, this is like the Gronk and Tom Brady. I mean, the Kraft and Tom Brady family show. That's what this has turned into. But like, yeah, I don't understand why we needed like highlights and stuff from from it, just more like them talking, you know, Tom Brady wasn't as talented, wasn't as this. We know, we get it. We understand. Why don't you play the fucking combine footage again, since everybody loves to play that? We understand. I get it. Like,
Yeah.
We just don't need Tom Brady's history. That was it. But they were definitely and this is another thing I had, another note. They were clearly making Brady the victim. You know, why? Because they talked about that year when Brady came back and he's, you know, lighting the world on fire, how Kraft and Brady would have conversations about Bill Belichick, and how like Kraft telling Brady, like, you know, or Kraft saying that Belichick isn't the type that's going to give so much praise like that. So red flag. Why the fuck is the owner talking to your star quarterback about your head coach? Why are you having these secret little conversations on the massage table?
Yeah, no wonder
with Alex. Oh yeah, we got Alex Guerrero too. Fucking piece of shit human being number one.
Guerrero.
Like, why is Kraft? This is where I'm starting to think. Why is Kraft so involved? Why is Kraft loving all these players? Why? You're the owner. This is why you need the separation. You are you're not Jerry Jones. You don't want to be Jerry Jones anymore. Oh no, you do, because I want to see what your reaction is. I want to see which way you lean towards or whatever. But Al, how did you feel about that with the fact that Brady and Kraft are having numerous, continuous conversations about Belichick?
It's a little weird, but it's weird. It's definitely a weird dynamic, but I think it was also in the sense of Brady felt like he couldn't talk to anybody outside the organization that didn't understand. Like, you would think, oh, why doesn't he talk to his family? Why doesn't he talk to his friends? Maybe it's because Brady felt like, because this was in the organization, he needed to have someone in the organization to talk to. Who better to talk to than the owner that, you know, runs the show and everything. But again, it still seems like, that wedge is being put in between the owner, the quarterback versus the head coach. But it's also, how much of this can we really put on Bill as well? Is Bill totally responsible? No, I don't think he's that cynical and maniacal as far as, you know, his feelings for Tom Brady. But could it have played a little part in the Brady stuff and Brady eventually leaving? I think it did, to some extent.
It definitely
which it did.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the conversations come from. But again, to kind of have those and talk about those, maybe Brady was just venting, you know, maybe it was a one-time conversation that we don't know about and Kraft's blowing smoke. Maybe it was one time.
Kraft said it was multiple though. That's the issue.
So maybe, okay. So if that's the case, maybe a couple times. Yeah. Maybe Brady a couple times is blowing off steam and is like, oh, Belichick, you know, I can't stand him today, blah, blah, blah. And then Robert misinterprets that. I don't know. We don't know what it could have been. Only Bill, Robert, and Tom Brady know those conversations. That's it. We only get the snippet, and we're not going to know anything else. And that's what sucks about this. I would have liked to heard more about that as well.
I would like to hear more. I mean, we got some Matthew Slater, and Matthew Slater was talking, and he said kind of the quote that I'm sure is going around and people are taking it, you know, and running with it, where Slater was like, you know, I was surprised with how Belichick, paraphrasing again, but I was surprised with how hard Belichick went at Brady. You know, he'd be showing clips and be like, what the fuck, Tom, and stuff like that. And he's like, you know, Belichick went a little bit harder on Brady, which I think everybody kind of knows. And then Slater was even like, you know, I'm sure like I wouldn't want to be talked to, or like, you know, I would want more praise or something like that. And in the same sentence, Slater's like, but that fueled Tom Brady to be what he was. You can't have these soft ass coaches. You can't, what's the saying? You can't make diamonds without pressure or something like that. Like,
something like that.
Brady needed Belichick to become Tom Brady, just like Belichick needed Brady to, you know, to kind of shepherd his Patriot way to the team. Like this is another one of those things where it's like they both need each other. But like but it was just like they're trying to make it where like Belichick went in the meeting rooms and like smacked Brady upside the head, like, you're fucking idiot, blah, blah, blah. Guess what, guys? Clearly it worked. So why are we like all of a sudden going back? And I'm not saying Slater's quote is anything like that. I'm saying like people watching this and everything. Like, why are we going back and being like, you know, he was so hard on Brady. No shit, he was. This was Bill Belichick. Talking about Bill Belichick in the first few episodes, he came from Army, Navy. This is Belichick even says, he's like, I just saw that this was the way to do things. This was the way to coach to be. Nick Saban. Not everybody loved Nick Saban, one of the greats of all time. What do they have in common? They both coach the same way. They're both like, this is how you get greatness out of players. Sustained
Greg
greatness.
Popovich was infamously tough on
Greg
Tim Duncan.
Popovich, another one.
Infamously. And everyone else on the team was like, shit, if he can cuss Tim Duncan up and down, I'm nothing.
Exactly. That's why, like, this is a whole nothing thing. And the fact that it is like an angle that's being taken in the doc pisses me off. That's just one of those things where it's like, of course you're going to be harder on your people. You see that in every single business. Like, that's how it is. And like I remember when I was in sales where like, I wasn't the best salesman. The managers were a little bit more like, okay, here, like, come here, let me go talk to your customer, whatever. But when you have the star salesman come up and they're like, yo, I can't close him. Like, are you a fucking idiot? You can't close this guy. You need me to come do it for you, you little bitch. Like, that's how it is. When you have someone who's at that level, you push them harder. Like, it just is what it is. And like, I don't like how they make Tom Brady seem like this beaten dog who needed to go talk to Daddy Kraft about everything. And like, it was just, it was weird. Like, you have to vent. Okay. Like, oh, you had a bad day at work. Okay. Go sleep next to your 4 Super Bowl rings. Like, I don't like what, if you don't like it, then leave, which eventually he did, which is fine. Because when you have, which I'm sure we'll hear one of them say in the next couple episodes, when you have a relationship like that, working relationship, eventually you just come to the end of it. And it's because, you know, whether the coach is sick of, you know, the ego of the player, or the player is sick of the ego of the coach, like, it just happens. But I guarantee you it's going to be portrayed as Belichick wanted to move on from Brady because Brady was pushing back on him or some shit like that. So I don't know, but fuck Robert Kraft. I'm just, I don't.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to free agency because this stuff's.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
It's upset. Also, last thing, I don't need any more Howard Bryant in this fucking documentary. I don't know why
the
we have
fuck that is
Howard Bryant like he's a part of anything. Yeah. So Malcolm Butler retired. We talked about that.
Actually kind of
sucks.
I know.
Yeah. Basically,
I think before we talk about the actual free agency moves, I think we need to talk about the big move that happened before everything else.
Sunday morning.
Yep. Get to it.
Yeah.
So it's time.
All right.
It finally happened. I'll be the one to introduce this one here. We have finally washed our hands clean of McCorkle Jones Jr.
Mm-hmm.
The Mac Jones era has come to an inglorious end. All that hype, all that excitement for the 13th overall pick, and it's over. Just like that.
Rounder.
Traded for that to the Jacksonville Jaguars, Mac Jones' favorite team growing up. So I like that. They did him right on that part. But the amount of hate that I've seen on social media just spewing Mac Jones' way.
Breaking news. Liam, you won't like this. Al, you'll like it. The Patriots are re-signing versatile offensive lineman Michael ONWENU, one of their cornerstone players, to a 3-year, $57 million deal with $38 million guaranteed.
Damn.
Yes. Let's go.
3 years.
Guys,
57.
this is what we do it for,
I'm
baby.
glad we got this on the show. Perfect.
Right? Okay. So, yeah. So it looks like $22.5 million signing bonus, 3 years, $57 million, 38 mil, guaranteed. So it's basically a 3-year, $38 million deal.
Damn,
dude.
So you
can't.
Housed up. I mean, I saw Al's fucking Kobe fist pump.
He did the fucking. Listen, Al.
It's the Tiger Woods.
You take it away. Yeah. You take it away.
Listen, Mike ONWENU is essential. He's a pillar on the offensive line for the future of this football team. He's versatile. He can play any position. And you know what? Look at some of the guards that signed today, the offensive linemen that signed today. They were signing for big money. All of them, man. They were all 5-year, $100 million, like huge deals. So here's the thing too. Look at the last sentence of that. He gets a $22.5 million signing bonus.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking
so huge. This deal is 3 years, $38 million. You break that down, that's a little over $12 million a year for a really good lineman that can play any position for you.
So if you want him to
be
fills a needed hole.
So if you want to, and by the way, I was reading about this on Twitter, and I think that this is true. A couple people said this, and it got my, got the wheels turning a little bit. I think now that ONWENU's signed, I think now we're going to start to see, okay, will they actually take a swing at Calvin Ridley? Will they get a Tyrone Smith to fill in the other offensive line spot? Will they go after, will they bring Jacoby Brissett in before the end of the night? But honestly, and I'm going to lump these together because I think we need to. You brought back Hunter Henry on Friday. You brought back Kendrick Bourne Sunday night. Now you bring back Mike ONWENU. That's 3 pieces on offense that you are happy to get back. You have a tight end that's still your red zone threat. You have a wide receiver that was having his best year until he tore his ACL in week 8. And now you have a good lineman back on the line for you to go along with Cole Strange, David Andrews, and City So on the interior. Now just go get that left tackle, sign Tyron Smith, and solidify your offensive line for next year. Because an offensive line of Smith, Strange, Andrews, So, and now ONWENU gives you a much better chance for whoever your quarterback's going to be next year, whether it's Brissett, whether it's Drake May, whether it's Jaden Daniels. So a big time re-sign by the Patriots. 3 for 3 so far. I am so happy so far in the Gerard Mayo era and Elliott Wolf era.
They are locking down the players that everyone wanted for the most part. I play both sides with the ONWENU thing, but it seems pretty universal that Patriots fans wanted Bourne and Henry back for the most part, and ONWENU was very much favorable there. I think Tyron Smith would be a fucking mistake. We can't go after Tyron Smith. I would be very, very upset.
I think they might draft. Might draft.
Yeah, I'd take that.
Did we talk about the Duggar news? Didn't happen. It
we
happened
got
during
it.
the week.
Yeah, we
did talk about the Duggar news.
Yeah, we got it.
We didn't.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, because you're a fucking idiot. I don't know.
Shit. Yeah, I'm an idiot.
But
so
that's pretty hype. But back to the Mac Jones thing. Not a whole lot to say. I think we've shared plenty of our opinions on Mac Jones. I particularly feel bad for him and seeing all the hate that's flying his way, all the memes about how he's going to be working at the Jaguar dealership in Jacksonville.
Oh my God, that's
selling
awesome.
cars.
Come down to Mac Jones Jaguars. My God.
I used to suit up for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now I want to suit you up in a Jacksonville Jaguar.
Oh my God.
Which, it would be an incredible sales pitch. Got to say, if he decided to go that way with his life, he'd probably make a killing. That's an incredible sales pitch right there. I'd buy a Jacksonville Jaguar from Mac Jones. But yeah, I don't know. I ended up just feeling more bad for the guy than I already did. I told you guys, though, I got to say, I nailed it. 6th-round pick is in my wheelhouse of what I thought we were getting back for him.
I mean, you know what, too? How idiotic in a way does Mac look now for going to Gerard Mayo's press conference? Like, there's no way that he could have gone there and really thought to himself, "Oh, I'm going to be a part of this new Patriots."
That's the way you got to think, though. It's the way you got to think, though.
Like, I understand.
That way.
You have to.
If he doesn't show up, he gets crucified too. Like, I'd rather look like an idiot trying to do the right thing than look like an idiot.
No, I know. And I understand that. You guys are right. Like, he did do the right thing, but at the same time.
But he definitely looks dumb. Don't get me wrong.
Like, now he does.
Hindsight,
right,
like you moron.
But
it's not even hindsight because everyone was shitting on him. Like, the fact that he was there, everyone was flipping out that he was even there. He couldn't.
Credit to the Patriots, though, like Liam said earlier, credit to the Patriots for actually doing right by Mac Jones, being like, you know what? We're going to trade you. And apparently there was a rumor before the combine. They told him he was going to be traded at some point. So they're like, you know what? We did you wrong. And I'm paraphrasing here, but they probably were like, listen, said something along the lines of, we did you wrong. We're going to get rid of you so that way you have a fresh start. Where do you want to go? And one of the teams he probably said is, you know what? See if you can get me to Jacksonville. Jacksonville needed a backup quarterback, so it works out for both sides. Yeah. And the thing to remember is Mac Jones only has one more year.
Starter. Trevor Lawrence blows.
And that could be Mac. But let me tell you something. Mac's got one more year in his contract. He's not going to get that 5th-year option. So now and then after the 2024 season, he can walk, test free agency in 2025, and see if there's a team that needs a quarterback, whether it's a starter or a backup.
As a backup,
it's over.
Imagine
it's over. It's over. It's over.
Man.
And good riddance. Like, thank you, Mac.
Yeah.
You did wrong here for a number of reasons, but it was time. It was time to rip off the Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Now he's
I
like a
hope he'll
plague
do it.
victim just walking around the facilities. Like it's like a reminder of some fucking horrific thing every time they see Mac
Yeah,
Jones. They're
he's got the stink on him. He's got the stink on him.
Yeah.
I think if it's interesting, you know who the Patriots play next season? The Jags. It would just be interesting if Trevor Lawrence is out for that game. And
Would
it's
be.
Mac Jones and he fucking throws 4 touchdowns, 450 yards, perfect QBR, fucking dickhead.
Jaguars
I
actually have
think
some weapons. So
yeah, Mac Jones definitely got the raw end of the stick here for many different reasons. He didn't help his cause either, for being honest. Like he definitely regressed too. But it just a bad marriage needed to end. So yeah, the Mac era officially done.
over.
The return of the Mac, the
Who would have
departure
thought?
of the Mac.
Who would have thought it would end like this? Like if on draft night when we're all celebrating, because
Nah.
we were all talking to each other on draft night.
We're
We might have
happy,
even
man.
been
I
on
was
Zoom.
happy.
We were psyched up.
I
So
will never forget. So I don't know if you guys remember this, but when I was a big part of Couch Guy, we did the draft stream. It was me,
Yes,
it was
I remember.
Diego, it was Matty B. And I don't know if you
Yo,
guys remember
That's
this.
the trio, baby.
When the pick came in,
Mm-hmm.
I was pissed off. And I literally said I looked like on stream that my dog died.
Mm-hmm.
And
You weren't feeling it.
miserable.
I was not, and it took me a night to buy into it. But man, oh man, looking back on it, I wish that I had just kept that reaction, be like, you know what, Mac's not going to work out. Like this is not going to work. Blah blah blah.
And you would have looked like an idiot in his first year.
Oh, I would have looked like I had egg on my face. But then the
You
next
would
2
have got
years,
crucified.
The next couple
yeah.
years.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a long-term investment. You're not going to see much return in your bad stock the first year, but you short that thing the next 2 years.
Yeah, that's that's the draft though, man. You really don't know.
That's showbiz, baby.
That draft class is not looking great. But Mac Jones gone. I think that was a foregone conclusion, but Liam, like you said, it's official. Sorry, man. Good luck. Like it, good riddance, good luck, all the goods. Just go be great somewhere else. Hopefully, see it down the line at some point, I guess.
I like to
don't
think
know
we're
what
all
to
rooting
say.
for him in a sense.
Yeah, we are.
Honestly, it's nothing against him. Like I get that he regressed in that, like he didn't play the best and everything, but I do like, I am still going to kind of like keep an eye out, and not like if Belichick started coaching a team where I would actively follow and root for that team. But like with Mac, I'll kind of keep an eye out. Like, oh shit, Trevor Lawrence is a little hurt.
Like,
Shit,
Mac
maybe-
Jones getting the start this week.
Yeah,
maybe I'll watch.
I'll pay attention. Mac Jones playing the Bills. He's gonna win. It's the only team he can beat.
Yeah. Seriously.
But so he's got another guy that's gone that I think we're all gonna be relatively happy with it, and I think it was a move that needed to happen if they were gonna fill this room with other talented people. DeVante Parker, fresh off an extension. Gone.
Gone.
I mean, listen, that one, I'll kind of kick this one off. I don't think the feelings for this one are as sentimental as they were for Mac Jones.
No.
Excuses
see you
for
later.
dropping balls, like just injury
Running
riddled.
shitty routes.
I was good
Yeah.
after the Raider game when he dropped that potential game-winning touchdown against the Raiders, where it went right off his fingertips from probably the best throw Mac Jones had the entire year. It's like the way he handled it after the game, he was childish, he was immature, and it's like, all right, dude. And then how does he get punished? He gets a contract extension from Bill Belichick, or whoever did the contract. I'm like, come on. So when I saw today, when I got the chance to see that DeVante Parker is going to get released on Wednesday because of the start of the new league year, I was like, yep, good. Now, if we can get rid of Juju as well, then we get a completely different room and we go from there. Liam, I'm sorry. I was happy because I liked Juju before, but I was wrong. I've told you that many times.
I just like reveling and being right.
It's time.
I will take it
listen.
as much as I can. I'm not one to gloat unless I really hate the player, and then I'm gonna gloat.
Well,
And
you
I'll
hate
tell
you hate the Patriot that just got signed like 10 minutes ago. So I mean, it's
I
kind
don't
of
hate.
a trade-off.
No, he
hate.
kind of
I do
plays it
not
up. He
hate.
plays it
I
up
do not
A little
hate.
bit.
I'm a bit of a ham with it. I try and play both sides just because he can play every position on the offensive line doesn't mean he's good
And
at
is
playing
good at
every
them.
position on the out. Mhm.
I
As
will
good as
say,
them.
I will say though, Liam, I think I don't know if I've formally done it. I apologize for my words sent to you about Juju. I think it is time for him to go because the way I look at it, and like kind of stay with me here, if the Patriots have Kendrick Bourne, Pop Douglas, you got to think they're going to add someone in free agency. Probably they might even end up drafting someone. I don't want like, would you guys be cool with Juju taking snaps over Douglas, over Bourne,
Nope.
over the potential new guy they get, or the potential
Nope.
new guy they draft?
Unfortunately, you can't be happy with any of his snap count. If he gets a ton, you're furious. If he gets none, you're furious because we're paying him a ton of money to get
That,
nothing.
yeah, you're paying him too much. And then honestly, like, even though he isn't what we all wanted, he is too talented to be a wide receiver 5 on a team. Like he needs to go somewhere else and be like a 3, or like if that team's bad, maybe a 2. Like he can't
XFL maybe.
He can't maybe he just cannot do that here. And because I think that it's crucial for Pop Douglas to continue his maturation. Kendrick Bourne is here for 3 years, which I guess we'll kind of talk about him now too.
Yeah.
Kendrick Bourne signing. Liam, you and I were hard on him. We have
still hard.
We have like, we're hard another way on him.
Yeah.
We have kind of recanted those statements, but Kendrick Bourne being here is awesome. I think he is a nice piece of a good wide receiver room. Like if you if you have a good room and Kendrick Bourne comes in, you're happy he's a part of the room.
Yes.
Right.
I always just liked his attitude. Like with most receivers, just about all receivers, you're gonna teeter the line between loving him and hating him. Like Wes Welker dropped the pass in the Super Bowl. He had plenty of other bad drops. Like
Wes Welker, by the way, comes off as a dink in that Dynasty.
Of course he does.
By the way,
yeah,
comes off
I heard the
kind
Hernandez thing. I'm like, all right, dude.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Anyways, keep going. I will not stop talking about that.
Yeah, with receiver, unless you're Randy Moss or Jerry Rice, even Terrell Owens gets shit. But like if you're Randy Moss or Jerry Rice, you don't really get any shit. You're kind of cold. But other than that, people are always going to be like, oh, remember that one play where he fucked that up. People remember the bad plays for wide receivers because they're astronomical. What did we think of when DeVante Parker got cut? It's like, damn, dude, he could have caught that pass that would have got us in field goal range and we could have won the Raiders game. Yeah, no. I love Kendrick Bourne. And I'm sure you won't be able to tell when I watch him play in week 1 and I cuss him out for dropping a wide open pass over the middle on 3rd down. But he plays with flair. Whether he's playing good or bad, he plays with flair. Absolutely. He is just dripping swagger. And I eat that up. We need somebody that carries himself like a champion in this team of losers.
He's the guy. I think Pop Douglas has a little bit of that. You see him kind of like in the videos that Kendrick Bourne posts. Oh, by the way, I forgot one person in this wide receiver room. Tyquan Thornton is still hanging around.
Not for long.
I hope not, but he's probably going to end up.
He's a preseason cut if I've ever seen it.
I'm sure.
I hope so.
Yeah, maybe, or he'll stay around as like a
wide receiver
guy.
6.
I don't mind him staying here if you have someone like a T. Higgins or Calvin Ridley, Kendrick Bourne, Pop Douglas. Maybe you draft someone and then Tyquan Thornton comes in emergency things, little trick plays and stuff. I'm fine with that. But yeah, Kendrick Bourne being here, he proved himself. I mean, he has been proving himself. And yeah, I think that he's a good piece. But now that you've re-signed people, and I guess we'll kind of talk about it more now too. Hunter Henry.
Yeah. Real quick. I just want to throw this out about Kendrick Bourne really fast.
Yeah, go.
Kendrick Bourne.
Fast.
Kendrick Bourne. Well, I want it to be because I got another point I want to bring up as well. Kendrick Bourne. Yeah, Mike. Jesus.
God damn.
Jesus.
Yeah, shut up.
Budgeting the man's time.
Yeah,
shut up,
I'm
Liam.
telling him he can have more time. He's trying to give me the time back. That's not a great agent, by the way. I don't know what you're trying to do.
He's not.
That's why I do. That's why I deal with numbers in the education system. Anyways, so Kendrick Bourne, whoever the next quarterback's going to be, Kendrick Bourne is almost going to be like the Julian Edelman type in the sense of he's going to be the reliable receiver for whoever the next quarterback's going to be. Is Kendrick Bourne going to put up numbers like Edelman? No shot. Not even close. But he's going to be that security blanket, and I think he can be the trusted receiver that either the veteran or the rookie can rely upon to get the ball in a crucial 3rd and long or 3rd and medium situation. Or you need a play to get in field goal range to win a game. I think Kendrick Bourne can be that receiver for the Patriots, especially coming off the ACL injury. I think he's going to be hungry. He's going to be ready to go because he was having, like I said before, he was having a great 2023
Fantastic.
before
So
he got
good.
hurt. So that's why I think Kendrick Bourne has the chance to be a vital part of the 2024 offense for whoever the
Trusted
quarterback
receiver.
is going
You
to be.
said it right. A trusted.
Yes.
This offense now, I would say they have 3 trusted pass catchers now on 3rd down or gotta have it down.
I don't think of Kendrick Bourne as a trusted receiver. Like every receiver has uses, but I would say he's more of like the dynamic splash player. Like when I think of Kendrick Bourne, I think of like difficult catches, toe taps, and touchdowns. And when he's catching a touchdown, he's in the squatting position, falling out of bounds in the back of the end zone. It's that touchdown against the Saints where he rides the sideline, reaches out, crosses the plane, and then dances in the end zone. Like when I think of him, it's the Cowboys deep bomb and Mac Jones's rookie year after Trayvon Diggs had the pick. Like I think of him as more of like the dynamic showboaty kind of guy because I still remember all of the Cardinals game or any of the games where you're just like, dog, come on. Like the Eagles game where it's like, it was a very catchable ball that I kind of hit your elbow. And so it's like when I say reliable, yes, he'll catch those most of the time. Like if he's going to have a drop, it's like he'll have a drop 2 out of every 10 balls, which like is a lot for a receiver, I guess. But when I think of him,
I get it.
It's the showboaty. When he scores, the other defense is like, oh, dude, no, because he's dancing. He probably made a great play. Like his last game last year, first drive of the game, catches a slant over the middle, and he runs into the end zone with both arms in the air. Like he's the guy that takes the momentum from the other team and makes them look like idiots when he's kind of dancing it out.
Yeah, you don't like that. You don't want to see someone else show, especially someone like him, where like he looks so goddamn happy doing it, and it's like, you son of a bitch. Yeah, no, Kendrick Bourne. Did you Al, did you have another thing you want to say about him, by the way? Kendrick Bourne?
Not about Kendrick Bourne, but just about the Patriots offseason so far. So 2 things. Number 1, Mike ONWENU, just to give a little perspective of how big of a signing, a big of a re-signing ONWENU was.
You're really trying to sell me on Mike ONWENU, aren't you?
Oh, I don't need to. I'm going to sell you right here. So since 2022, Mike ONWENU has played 1,088 pass blocking snaps. He's only allowed 37 QB pressures and only 4 sacks.
Yep, I just saw that stat on Twitter when it popped up. I was like, oh.
That's according to Pro Football Focus New England Patriots edition. So that's just something to keep in mind, Liam, when you think Mike ONWENU isn't as good as you make him out to be. So that's number 1.
And also in that time frame, Liam, by the way, in that time frame, I believe Cam Newton has played 0 games, right?
No, but he has won 100% of the fights he's gotten into, and that's as admirable as anything
He ended up jumping 3 people, which I don't know how that happened.
No, 3 people jumped him.
And he reversed Uno carded him.
Yes, and they were all in danger. Well, also, you got to be a stupid fuck to try and jump somebody who's 6'6", 250 pounds that runs a 4.4.
And he's also like about that life too, which like I know that sounds like very cringeworthy coming from like
he's from the ATL,
from like 3 white people.
Fuck you up.
But like dude, he is like that. But I'm sorry, Al, keep going. We just had we did have to give props to
so
him.
Al, just to give further context, since you're the mathematician, out of those, so 1,000 some odd snaps and 36 of them were
QB pressures.
Yes. What percentage is that?
So if you do 36 into 1,088, that's about, it's maybe like 3%, something like that. I can do it right now on the calculator.
Because like the number sounds crazy in and of itself. 1,036, like obviously that's a fucking huge. Fantastic.
I got you right now. 36. So if you do 36 divided by 1,088 times it by 100, that is 3.3% of the time.
Damn. Yeah. See, all right, you're right.
And then for the by the way, for the sacks, if you want that, Liam, just to give it to you, That's
Liam always wants the sacks.
0.37. Less than 1% of the time, Mike ONWENU is allowing a sack.
Shit.
You know what this is, I think, Liam? I think because the offensive line has been so bad, his mistakes or like mistakes that were deemed on him, they just jumped out more to you. Just like why, like, you know, there's certain players, certain people, certain whatever that you just hate on teams. And like when they do one thing bad, you're like, they fucking suck, blah, blah, blah. And like for my dad, it was Matt Light. My dad hated Matt Light. He was like, oh, Brady got sacked, Robbie fucking Light. Like it was just one of those things where like I think that is how you see him. So I'm hoping this year, if they put him correctly at right tackle, you put City So maybe between him and what's his name at right guard, David Andrews at center, probably for his last year, which sucks. Strange at left guard, like you said, Al, and then maybe they draft a left tackle or they do whatever. But I think you'll see with a more cohesive offensive line, I think you'll see that Mike ONWENU is worth the money he's getting, which isn't even too much, but it is still money, and you are still, you know, making an investment. 3 years is a long time, but I think that's good. You want to have offensive linemen around for a while, right?
You do.
So I will go into it with an open mind, though. Like I'm not one. I try.
This isn't
not
an
to
Ezekiel
speak
Elliott situation.
Yeah,
where you're
no.
going into it.
If Zeke had 1,000 yards,
I
and
hope
20
they
touchdowns
re-sign
last
him.
year, I'd say
I
he's
hope
bad.
they
God
re-sign
fucking
him.
No, Jesus Christ, no. I think there might be some merit to your point where it was just so bad. I kind of wanted to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Crazy saying.
I try not.
Very,
it is
very crazy.
I try not to speak. I have an even crazier one come out for a second. I try not to speak in generalities, but unfortunately, I'm kind of a victim of the times where everyone, especially with sports, they handle dandruff with decapitation. Like they overcorrect to the highest degree, and it's like if that was bad, then it's so bad. Fucking. And I find myself being a victim of that as well because there was
Handle
nothing.
dandruff with decapitation.
Yeah, because like
That's so
there was nothing to be
Brutal.
savored from the offensive line last year in my eyes because we
Just cut it
couldn't
off.
do
Just get rid of it.
anything.
I
Yeah,
get it. I understand.
yeah.
That's
But
All right,
like, so
let's-
I will go into it with an open mind. We will see after this year. We will come back. Hold me to my receipts. We will come back this time next year,
after
and
the
we
Super
can
Bowl.
see how Mike ONWENU went. Yes, like the Patriots.
So
won't be
by
in.
the way, after the first day of free agency, I want to read to you guys the moves that the Patriots have made, guys that are in, out, signed, whatever. And I want you to give a grade for how you think they've done so far. So the Patriots free agency tractor, they have signed running back Antonio Gibson, which I'm sure we'll talk about, and offensive tackle Chukuma Okorafor. I don't know if I said that right. But he's
Or whatever. Yeah.
Okorafor, thank you.
Yep.
He's the offensive lineman originally from the Steelers, like you guys said. Kyle Duggar franchise tagged, transition tagged, re-signed Mike ONWENU, Kendrick Bourne, and Hunter Henry, like we talked about, out. So no longer with the Patriots. Linebacker Mack Wilson, quarterback Mac Jones, linebacker Chris Board, and wide receiver DeVante Parker. When I
Chris
read
Bourne
that,
got cut.
he's gonna get cut.
Yeah.
When the new year starts on Wednesday. So when you look at that and you see what you brought back, so far what you've added, it's only day one, and who's left, that's a solid day one. That's like a B plus to close to A minus type of day one.
For this team, that's an A. For like what
for this specific
is,
team, yes.
There's
for
one person on there which we'll get to after you're done, which I think I wish they brought back, but which I think we all will be on the same page with him.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. So I mean, with that, how can you not be happy about the direction that this team at least will go in for the offseason? I mean, Elliott Wolf is proving exactly what he said. He wants to keep core guys around. Okay. Hunter Henry, you get a new contract. Kendrick Bourne, you want to come back? Okay. You get a new contract. Mike ONWENU, you want to get paid fairly as a guard? Here you go. Here's your contract. That's a good thing. Kyle Duggar, we're not sure yet. Okay, we'll put the transition tag on you. We'll see if we can work something out.
Just buy more time.
Yeah.
Yep. Just buy more time. At a lower price than the franchise tag would be.
Right.
Which,
like
God,
we said,
they better re-sign Kyle Duggar because you know how I told you I got that Juju jersey in the mail by accident. I forget who I fucking ordered, and they sent me Juju, and I flipped the fuck out, and thank God. I mean, not even that I had to hope because I knew it wasn't going to happen. But if I had lost, I bet I would have had to wear that godforsaken thing on the show. I returned it and got a Kyle Duggar jersey, But now if they don't fucking keep him, I'm
No,
like,
I think he's gonna get. If I'm gonna make a prediction now, I think Duggar is gonna get a 4-year above market value contract at some point this season. I think that what we've seen is that Wolf, Mayo, the whole brain trust, they're bringing in or they're re-signing and keeping people that are important. Like for instance, the Hunter Henry, and I want to give more flowers to Hunter Henry since Al, you said you wanted to give grades on these people. Hunter Henry to me is an A+. He's a captain. Yep. He's, by the way, I think we've been saying it. He's probably a top 5 tight end in the league. He's the 14th highest paid tight end, which is a bargain. And
still,
when you have a rookie,
extension, he is?
Yep. When you have a rookie quarterback, what is a rookie quarterback's best friend? A big body tight end that can catch. That's what you want for them. And Hunter Henry can do that. And that's why I think when I said that there's 3 trusted offensive players right now, you have Hunter Henry, Pop Douglas, and I do think Kendrick Bourne falls in that category because Pop Douglas showed he gets open. He has like the quickness of like an Edelman, but a little bit quicker. He has like that short, that like he can get open in a phone booth, which I love that phrase because it's like, fuck yeah, like that means you're just like that quick. But like, I think the Hunter Henry signing to me, I think that might be, other than Mike ONWENU, I guess, the most like important offensive signing so far. Because otherwise they would have 0 tight ends on the roster, but now you have one of the best in the league, and he's good. He's been top of the league in touchdowns.
Healthy. He's been so healthy,
dude. He's been
knocking
healthy
on
in
wood
like,
as I say that.
Yeah, I know, right? Shit, why he's gonna get injured the second week of the year? But yeah, Hunter Henry though. What do you? I know that we all feel good about it, but like just kind of
don't even have to
Hunter
gauge
Henry
the room, like across the room. Like there's only one reaction.
Yeah, it's a slam dunk.
3 years.
Slam
dunk.
3 years, 27.
28 to 30 or something
up
like
to
that.
30. Yeah, up to like 30 or 33 or something. Okay, sure. You could have gave him fucking 30 guaranteed. I would have been like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
whatever.
I don't give a shit. Like this is the thing is the Patriot, and I think this is what Gerard Mayo meant when he said we have cash to burn. We're going to sign players that are important to the team. We're not just going to go sign fucking the big name, whatever. Hunter Henry was a captain. He's a tight end. He clearly had proved himself. Let's bring him over here. Mike ONWENU proved that he can be a starter. He could fill a gap for us. He can fill a hole for us. Let's sign him. Like Kendrick Bourne, I think, is the one that shows. You want to talk about changes in philosophies? That shows, I think, the biggest change. Where I think if this was still the Belichick regime, Kendrick Bourne's gone. But since it was, a different.
We used to talk about that. We're like, I don't think Bourne's coming back.
Yeah, he's gone. Yeah, we all.
But it is a risk. Like, granted, ACLs aren't as serious as they used to be. But does any of us think that like Bourne's not going to recover from the ACL injury well?
I honestly haven't even thought about it, and it's not because I'm like so bullish on him like coming back and being great. It's just like I don't think he's going to be. This isn't like last year or the year before. I don't think he's going to be tasked to be like the number 1 or even number 2 option as much. Because I think right now your number 1 option is a player who's not here yet, whether it's T. Higgins, Calvin Ridley. We'll talk about them in a second. And then I think Hunter Henry is your number 2. And then you also have to remember you have a beast of a running back back there in Ramondre Stevenson, who just had someone join his backfield. We'll talk about him in a second as well. Like this, the offense, and fuck, dude, I just got deja vu. We've been saying this the past 2 years, talking about this offense. You guys realize that? Where we're like, the offense looks like it's coming together.
Yeah.
This is an offense that could contend. And then they go fucking 5-13. Like, it's just, or 5-12, whatever the fuck it was. I don't even like to think about it. But Hunter Henry, love it across the board. Great signing. Kendrick Bourne, I think we all like it. Ramondre Stevenson, he's got a partner back there now for a little bit. Antonio Gibson, third down back, kind of will fill your James White type role where he can run if he needs to. Obviously, he's a running back, but he is really your third down pass catcher back, which I think the Patriots haven't really had since James White, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't think of anybody who they've had.
Correct.
Rex Burkhead.
Yeah, but that was kind of in the same time, wasn't it?
Yeah,
With
it
James
Yeah,
was.
White a little
that
bit?
was
So
that was even before
a
James
little
White got
before
hurt.
too, but still. So yeah, I think him being here is a good thing. And that was what, a 3-year deal too, if I remember right.
Yep, 3 years. That one
Dude,
was, I
oh,
think it was like 11.25 with the possibility to get up to like maybe 15, something like that.
I got it here. So
I know it's
that
3 for 11.25.
is
I know
the
that.
yeah. So it's 3 11.25 with a max value of 17.25.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, so that's
What
what
do
it'd
you
be. So yeah,
guys know
that's you're
about
right.
Antonio Gibson?
Started out okay in Washington, but then
I had him in fantasy.
kind of just fell flat because of some other running backs. I know like there was a year Brian Robinson was pretty good. So
The
I know he
last 2
lost some
years,
touches.
dude got
Yeah,
shot. He's still out there balling.
I know.
Brian Robinson's
Many
that
men.
guy.
Yeah,
That
he's a
dude.
stud.
He's only 25 years old. So
Yeah,
he's still
well,
pretty young.
he's only been in the league for 4 years, but
Right.
I love him. Like, I think this is a fantastic signing. I
Yep.
loved him last year and didn't understand why he just didn't get the usage. He went from his second year in the league having 258 carries to last year having 65. And I get it, you bring Brian Robinson in there. I don't think there's a huge talent gap between the two of them. In his first year, he had 11 touchdowns. In that crazy second year where he had all those carries, rushed for just over 1,000 yards, he had 7 touchdowns. And then after that is the drop off. 550 yards, 3 touchdowns last year, 265, 1 touchdown.
Yeah, I don't think that we're I think we're reacting exactly how we should be reacting to it. We're like we like it. There's really no downside. If it works, great. Like he's a running back that can kind of run if we need to, but he's also he will primarily be like a third down pass catching back, which I think is
Yeah,
important.
which his
So
receiving numbers aren't as good as I would imagine because I usually thought of him as, a very dynamic pass catcher. The numbers don't exactly reflect that, but they're not terrible by any means. Basically, 400 receiving yards last year, 350 the year before then, 300 the year before then, and in his first year, 250. So like he always hovers around that same
okay,
range.
fine with
Three
that. Because you gotta
touchdowns,
think
two
Stevenson
touchdowns,
is
two
gonna catch some
touchdowns.
balls too.
Yeah,
And
so he can do it all, but I didn't realize how dynamic of a runner he was.
yeah, no, I think this is great. And what I've noticed too, a lot of these players, these offensive players, are being signed for 3 years or so. I think that's important. You have a rookie quarterback, because we're all kind of assuming that's where they're going to go now with, Kirk
I'm
Cousins
not.
being gone, Russell Wilson. But if you have a rookie, you want to have a unit that's kind of around for a few years. So I think that's good. I think that's important. I like that signing. But the one thing, Al, bringing it back to what you said before, the one move I wish the Patriots kept him, because I think now this does kind of not create a hole, but it creates a need. Mack Wilson going to the Cardinals. We all liked Mack Wilson. There's nothing bad to say about him. I think he wanted to come back. I guess the Patriots made a competitive offer, but at the end of the day, money does talk. He went to the Cardinals. So the Patriots now have somewhat of a hole to fill with kind of a third down pass rushing linebacker. And I think it's also worth noting that they have yet to make any sort of offer to Josh Uche. So I would assume he's gone. Although he's not gone yet. So you would think, I mean, someone like that who's been putting up some good numbers, you would assume he's gone. Maybe the market isn't what they thought, but I don't know. So
I like him. I don't want to see him go.
yeah, no. Me neither. I liked Uche and Wilson. I want Mack Wilson is one of those guys. Him, Adrian Phillips, Jabril Peppers, they all hit hard. Now we
Unsung
only have one
heroes,
of them.
yeah.
Now we only have Jabril Peppers, which I mean, only the hardest hitter in the NFL.
He hits hard enough for everyone, yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, yeah. So and then Kyle Duggar too, obviously hits hard, so he's here. But yeah, Mack Wilson not being here, going to the Cardinals. How do you guys feel about that?
I'm not as strongly like, I don't have as much of a love for Mack Wilson as you guys do. I thought he was a good player, especially this year for the Patriots, but I think Anthony Jennings is a guy that's going to take a little bit more of that linebacker role. So I think they really like what they see out of him. So I think that's why if they really thought they needed Mack Wilson back, I think they would have driven up that offer a little bit more.
Isn't Jennings more of a go rush the passer kind of guy though?
He could be.
That's more
I mean,
Jawan Bentley, I think, isn't it? A little bit.
yeah, Bentley can
Kinda.
fill that role. So I mean, and also don't forget, you can draft another linebacker to come in here. Like, I'm not saying he's going to.
I assume they will, yeah.
But they'll probably get a linebacker in the upcoming draft. So I mean, I'm not worried about it. I mean, good for Mack Wilson for making his money. Good guy, worked hard in the field, made the most of his opportunities, and now he gets a good contract with Arizona. So good for him.
Such a quiet name that only Patriots fan would know. But I always loved the combo linebacker kind of guy like that. Like small, he could hit hard, he played the passing lane. So I was like, this guy can do it all.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, he definitely would have been some guy that I think we would have been happy who would resign, but he didn't. But that's really all. I think we kind of went through everything that you said. There's still some guys out there the Patriots haven't gotten, and I think we're kind of expecting them to. There's two huge names that I think the Patriots are linked to right now on the offensive side of the ball. T. Higgins and Calvin Ridley. T. Higgins from the Bengals has requested a trade. Today it came out a little bit before free agency. And then Calvin Ridley, everybody's kind of expecting that they might move on from him. I guess the Jags are still trying to sign him, but hasn't happened yet. So that means there's a chance he might leave. Between those two, who would you guys prefer? You know, kind of try to take contract numbers out of it. Cause you got to think if you're
You got
signing
money to
one
burn,
of them,
baby.
and you're probably gonna like signing them with the expectation that you're going to either restructure a deal or sign them long term, 3 years at least or something. So who would you guys rather have between those two? T. Higgins is, I believe, 5 years younger too. So just throwing that out there.
Is he really? Oh shit!
Yeah,
That's a
4 or
good
5
question.
years.
I know, seriously. Like I don't have a quick answer for you there. I'm trying.
No,
to
there
think.
is none. That's why we discuss it, baby.
And I got a third one that we could throw in the picture too if we really wanted to get crazy.
Oh God.
DeVante
Brandon
Adams.
Ayuk.
Oh.
Okay. Can we be realistic here?
I know you don't jive with the Brandon Ayuk
I
discussion.
love him, but like,
of course,
that's why. Come on.
Hey, it could be
We're
the
more
same,
likely to get Justin Jefferson.
It could be the same price for Ayuk as it is for T. Higgins. I think they both would be worth that number 34 overall pick. I think that could be a selling.
But one of them is willing to trade the player and the other one isn't.
That's true.
There have been no reports from the 49ers that they're moving on from Ayuk, and there is absolutely no reason. There's no reason to believe that they would. T. Higgins, the writing was on the wall all season long. You could see that. Like they said that before the season
even started.
Him?
They tagged him. So I think that kind of goes to show that players don't like that. So he probably wants to go. I'll put it out there. I would want Higgins. He's younger.
I'd probably take T. Higgins too. Bigger body.
He's not coming off isn't Calvin Ridley coming off an injury too? Didn't he get injured as well, if I remember correctly?
I mean, it depends what you want. Do you want the big body receiver to replace and be better than DeVante Parker? You go T. Higgins. But if you want the fast guy that can hopefully create the separation downfield, you might go Ridley there. Depends. What do you want?
I don't want that. I don't want that. I want the big guy. Give me the big guy.
Okay, then you go Higgins. That's easy.
I'll play the field then. I'll say Ridley. They're both very interchangeable to me. And trust me, I had Calvin Ridley on my fantasy team last year. And if I had a better receiver, I probably would have beat Mike, but that's okay. I digress. He was great. Like get fucked. He was really good. But like he would have like 157 yards and 2 touchdowns one week, and then he'd have like 3 catches for like 30 yards in the next week. And then he'd have another blow up game with 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. And I'm like, dude, help a brother out here. So at the end of the year, like when you look at his stats from last year, it looks fantastic. But he just couldn't put it all together week in and week out, which blows. But T. Higgins sucked last year. Like he was hurt for some of it.
He was the one who was hurt, who got a little hurt.
He was hurt for some of it, and then he sucked for some of it. And like didn't help that Joe Burrow was hurt and stuff like that. But and that doesn't mean T. Higgins is gonna suck forever. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I'd choose Calvin Ridley just because I love he's like what everyone wanted Jerry Jeudy to be, like running super
Yes.
crisp, mean routes
Yep.
that would just destroy somebody. Like Calvin Ridley's route running is a thing
His
of
jersey
sheer
number is
gold.
also 0, which
Yeah, which is
I
kind of
mean,
cool. Yeah,
actually
I
you have to
hate
change
but
it
it's
because I
kinda cool.
believe Christian Gonzalez is going to be 0. I think he
Yeah.
posted something with just him in a 0 jersey like weeks
Really?
ago. So I don't know. But I honestly though, I say T Higgins. Give me either one of them. Like
Yeah, 100%.
I'm fine. Either one of them. Still draft a wide receiver. Like don't get me wrong. Like I would still like that. But I think if you are gonna get T Higgins though, you're gonna end up giving up a 2nd-round pick for him. So I don't think that you'll be able to draft one. I don't know. There's a lot of options going in. Al, who would you want between Ridley and Higgins?
Higgins. I would go Higgins again. The 5-year age difference is a big factor. Again, you need the big body. Imagine having Higgins and Pop Douglas and Kendrick Bourne as your top 3 receivers. Like that's a good crew of wide receivers to go into the year with.
Throw
And then
Hunter
maybe you
Henry
add
in there, a
like
good running game.
maybe you add a guy in the draft like second, third round, maybe like an Xavier Worthy from Texas or whatever, something like that. Like that's another name that you could get. So I mean, I would go Higgins. That'd be my my pick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to anything now, but I think just looking at free agency now, the Patriots have re-signed who we wanted them to and who they should have re-signed. They've retained, because I'm going to throw Duggar in there too, because technically it's a tag, it's not a re-signing, whatever. They've retained the people who they should. You know, they've kept Bourne, they've kept ONWENU, they've kept Duggar, they've kept Hunter Henry. Now, like you mentioned too, Al, now you go out there. Now you go try to get someone. You still have money to spend. You know, there's still plenty of money to go get someone. Go get someone now. Now you do have to obviously fill a hole. You'll probably want to get a linebacker. Maybe there's rumors out there that they want to get a playmaking defensive player or like something like that. So like a pass rusher or something. Maybe you want to do that too. I don't know. But I think those are, when we're talking about holes on this team now, wide receiver, I think a number 1 wide receiver, quarterback, obviously, but that is what it is. Maybe they get a 2nd running back. They need a left tackle. That I think is the biggest hole on offense right now. Left tackle, wide receiver. I'd say probably a pass rushing linebacker, and then maybe defensive back. But I think a lot of the holes are starting to be filled up. I think they're going into the draft and into free agency now, where it's very possible that they could be a very solid team going into the year. You know, assuming they draft. Liam, you said you don't think they're going to take a quarterback.
I hope they don't.
Assuming Marvin Harrison Jr. is there, that is where I'll look at it and go, well, shit.
Yeah, but like now that no other quarterback is available, like you guys aren't dumb. Like you guys are probably right. If there's no other quarterback available, like what's our next best option? We're not rolling.
But I think they could still, like, I could still see them. And again, we'll end it on the draft talk, we always do. I could still see them if Marvin Harrison Jr. is there. Take him and then take McCarthy, Bo Nix, Michael Penix in the 2nd round, or if they're there, if you think you have to trade up maybe to get them, whatever you have to do. Like there's still options there. But like God, that's gonna be big. Now, unless if they add like T Higgins or Calvin Ridley, I'd be more okay with them passing on Marvin Harrison Jr. and taking a quarterback. But if they don't have their number 1 guy, number 1 wide receiver going into the draft, I think I shouldn't even say it. I think
exactly.
I might want them to take Marvin Harrison Jr.
You should,
because you got to think. I think he's going to be there because I think the Bears are taking a quarterback.
I hear the Bears are trading now.
I don't. They see, but if they, I don't know. Oh,
because then if the Bears trade, then Marvin's definitely there.
Yeah, exactly.
So and if they don't trade, he's probably still there. Like it's going to be
that's going to be a decision. Like, it's probably going to be: do you take Marvin Harrison Jr., a blue chip stud wide receiver, or do you take Jaden Daniels, a potential franchise quarterback, not as sure of a draft pick as MHJ?
That's impossible to pick.
Oh, the most impossible, I would say. Like,
but it's also
unless you're Belichick with receivers.
It's also too, how bad do you want Jaden Daniels? Would you be willing to trade up to 2? Put it this way: if the Patriots nail free agency, So let's just say this, right? So they have what they have so far. Let's say they added Calvin Ridley, Tyrone Smith, and then Jacoby Brissett. Let's just say they added the three. If you don't like Tyrone Smith, Liam, who's the guy from Cincinnati, the other offensive tackle? Jonah Williams.
Williams. Yeah.
Okay, so fine. Take out Tyrone Smith for Liam's sake.
Cool.
Otherwise, he will just get mad and give me funny faces in the corner.
I will.
And then so Jonah Williams, Calvin Ridley, and let's say Jacoby Brissett, just for for a veteran quarterback. If you love Jaden Daniels and you're convinced he is the guy, why not do everything in your power possible to make sure Washington doesn't get him at 2?
Yep.
Because then if you don't get your quarterback and you don't love Drake May, then you're like, oh shit, what do I do here? Okay, I got to trade back. And then you still don't have a quarterback for the future. You have Jacoby Brissett if you sign him for maybe a year or two. But then are you just going to tank again? And then
why is the other option a trade back though? That option should be
because because there's still going to be nobody to throw him the ball besides Jacoby Brissett for a year or two.
That's why we're playing the long game now.
If you don't sign Ridley or trade for Higgins, then fine. Go get Marvin Harrison Jr. if Jaden Daniels isn't there, fine. But if you get the receivers that you get, and then you sign the offensive lineman that you need, then you have to get, or at least take a crack at the quarterback.
Obviously, if they sign receivers, I would say they're not going after Marvin. I would say it's fucking dumb.
Yes.
I don't know, man. There's so much, like the draft is exciting now because the Patriots have kind of done what we hoped that they would do so far. And it's like, what did they do? Dude, because I still like Drake May
if we were in their position and we were doing everything, like we'd probably do it just about the exact same way. Like we'd maybe hold on to Mack Wilson. That's about it.
Maybe, but even then, like that wouldn't be like a deal breaker thing. And now you're looking at receivers. Okay, cool. Because to get T Higgins, you're probably going to have to give up a 2nd round pick. That's what it looks like. So do you draft a receiver with the 2nd round pick, or do you trade that pick to get Higgins? And that would mean that with the first pick, you're taking a quarterback. But what if, like you guys said, they love Jaden Daniels? What if it's not him? What if it's Drake May? Do you take him? The Patriots supposedly like Drake May as well. Like, no one really fucking knows anything. Like, if we're being honest.
Yeah, no, exactly. Everyone's
but like, what do they do? I don't know, because I'd still be happy with Drake May. I'm still a Michael Penix guy. So maybe draft Marvin Harrison Jr., take Michael Penix. I'll ride that team to a 6th seed, to a wild card round. Hell yeah, I would. I'll ride that left hand all day. But yeah, I don't know. It's definitely crazy, but I think that overall right now, before we get out, grades right now so far, the Patriots in free agency, what would you guys give?
B+, because I think there's more to be desired, but I still think it's pretty good so far.
Okay. Liam?
C. Good start. You're laying the groundwork.
Yeah. I'll go B- just because I'm going to take away points because I think they could have got Mack Wilson. Even though I'm not livid that they didn't, but it's just kind of one of those things that would have been nice. So
you got the money.
I just refreshed Twitter. It looks like there's no other breaking news. Any parting words before we get out of here?
Go get Calvin Ridley or T Higgins, please. Please.
Something.
I'm in. Go get something. Resign Zeke. Resign Zeke. Just leave his face.
Wrong with you people?
All right, we're out. See you guys next week.
See ya.